Hey, what's happening? Tommy C here, shot from the Point News. Got what should be a big story, a real big story. Markiplier puts out a video. YouTube has a huge problem, and boy, did they do. We're seeing accounts getting their AdSense taken away, their channels being deleted. Some of them do seem to be bugs and errors because they are getting restored. We have the Mr. Mediger situation where YouTube made up a new policy. He had no videos because they were getting striked. Videos from 2, 3, 4 years ago were getting striked. He took all the videos down, and they took his AdSense away for spam. And then they told him, oh, it's because you don't have any videos up there. And nowhere in the TS to say you can't have videos and be monetized. They're clearly trying to kick him off the platform, or at least not make it economically viable. And a new rule change: if your channel is deemed not economically viable, apparently they can take everything away, your Google account, everything away. You really have to wonder what's going on. If you hang around, I'll tell you what I think is going on. But at the story at hand is Markiplier. Yesterday he puts out a video. YouTube has a huge problem, and he talks about running a live stream. And he was encouraging his fan base to put either a red or green to yes or no, or just to interact. And the spam was actually getting not just the YouTube account banned. The spam was getting their Google's accounts banned. He can do a much better job of explaining it than me. Let's go to Markiplier.
Yeah, this is an example of what got someone banned right here. That's how many emotes they used, and they got banned. This is what I asked. People were voting with red or green to pick a direction, and banned this. This is what got people banned. This is what YouTube is protecting us from. And then once we actually started noticing, we started putting out PSAs. Do not spam to vote. Your account may be suspended. We didn't catch on to this until I didn't catch on to this until like an hour and a half into the live stream. That's way too long for this problem to keep going on. I have no idea how many people's accounts got suspended. This is heartbreaking. Someone got an appeal. They were unsuspended and then immediately resuspended 30 minutes later. For what reason? That means there are people looking at this and they are manually going at it, and they're like, oh yeah, this is not a problem. And then someone else swoops in and is like, oh wait, no, that was a problem. Let's cancel this all again. It would be bad enough if this was all an automated system working, but the appeals system is run through by people. And what gets me even more upset is that YouTube on Twitter, people are reaching out to YouTube and they are asking, why are my accounts banned? I am trying to appeal, and their only response is appeals are very carefully reviewed. If your appeal is rejected, there's nothing more that we can do. I tell you, nothing pissed me off more than that. Not a thing. Because if they are lying, saying that appeals are very carefully reviewed, then they are just absolutely out of their mind lying. And I know, just a few days ago, I was singing YouTube's praises because I was so happy about the fact that they supported my show. And I know that making this call out is probably going to affect my chances to do another one. But this is so problematic that I have to. This is my community that we're talking about. These are people that have supported me for years.
Yeah, what good is it to have a YouTube special show on YouTube Premium if you can't keep your base together because they're getting banned and you don't speak out about it? I mean, I don't know if bravery is the right word. As much as it is, he almost has to speak out. I'm sure he'd rather not. He's not controversial. He's never really been controversial. God, the last thing I remember him being mildly controversial when he went on a kind of a nonsensical rant about drama channels back in 2016. And that was about it. He has to do this. He has to protect his audience so to speak, because, you know, if you tick off your base, it's just going to spread to the fair weather. Maybe that's not a great word, but casual fans. And, you know, you got to channel his size, 24 million. Your casual fans are pretty important to support your videos. And, yeah, I can see this. We have this is a problem, but, you know, I guess I'm going to go tinfoil here. I don't know if it's not deliberate. To me, this feels like a warm-up to 2020. Well, why do I think that? Now, I know this doesn't have anything to do with Markiplier directly. I just want this of public note. If we find this out later, I realized what I was about to show you is a Tim Pool tweet. Apparently, YouTube is censoring public information now, public news information. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's the whistleblower in the Donald Trump impeachment Ukraine case. The name's been out for a week by other news sources, bigger ones, Drudge Report, Real Clear Politics, and apparently Tim Pool got a strike over releasing the whistleblower's name. Now, despite what you think of whether that should or shouldn't be out, there is no legal restrictions for anyone to keep it secret other than in the federal government. And just the fact that, you know, it's already been released, it's a week old already, him making a video about it, YouTube's under no obligation to censor that. None. In fact, it shows a direct and clear bias. So they're going to censor the video, or they're going to censor people talking about the last hope of undoing the 2016 election, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, there's that. So it's just, you know, to me, the Markiplier thing feels like a bit of a test run. You know, and we're talking Google lockout, not just, you know, YouTube. And I think they make a really good case that they need to be broken up, not regulated, broken up. Because you know, you can't make a living online unless you have AdSense, and they can pull it away for political reasons. TOS changes coming up in December. This is a popular one right here, or at least popular to show around. Terminations by YouTube for service change. YouTube may terminate access or your Google accounts. Your Google accounts access. So we're seeing spam in Markipliers, and that's leading to total Google suspension. Imagine if you have a job and you need to use Google, and all of a sudden you can't because you're in a Markiplier stream. YouTube may terminate your access from Google's accounts as a part of service if it reasonably believes that its prohibition to your service is no longer commercially viable. I would say most of the accounts. So there's probably only 1 or 2% of the accounts that are commercially viable. And that looks like the Medgar rule to me. He's the guy who deleted his videos so that they couldn't strike him down. And they first told him he got him for spam and scams. And then they told him, well, it's because you have no video, which prior there was no... prior to that, there was no rule like that. But now we have, well, it's not economically viable. You're not eluding things. So we can delete your Google account. We have, you know, this is, you know, it might sound kind of harebrained. And, you know, this is circumstantial evidence, but let's go back to Project Veritas, which is a video that I can't upload, more than likely. Tim Pool has had these taken down as well, where a Google employee says that she loves Warren, presidential candidate, And Warren had spoken about either regulating or breaking up Google. And she goes on, she shouldn't want to do that. I'm paraphrasing. Because there's so much we can do for her come election time. Now, it's reasonable to say at this stage that she is going to be the nominee. Most people think that she is going to be the nominee when it's all said and done. And, that's, I don't know. It just feels like meddling to me. So here we are. I think this is a much bigger problem than a bug with the Markiplier situation. Like I would look at this. I mean, his rage, while legitimate, is selfish. It's not selfish as he's selfish. He's worried about his business, his business and his fan base, which is his support system and certainly his career. But I guess the fact that the accounts are being blown, and then we have YouTube has decided to protect the whistleblower, which is not their responsibility. None. It's not. And then we seem to have this Medica rule that if we don't think you're economically viable, we can pull it. I think there's a problem. I mean, I think YouTube would like to get rid of you the right way through a 3-strike system, but I think it's perfectly obvious that they're looking for ways to terminate your account, whether you violate things or not, whether they don't like you. And I think it's time for our lawmakers to declare certain parts of the internet, especially things like YouTube. Hey, do it yourself. It's all up to you. You can do whatever you want. And say, this is the public square. And you may not have to monetize this content, but if it stays within reasonable bounds, you can't terminate it. And that includes speaking out against establishment, media, political establishment, and governments. You're not going to be, oops, what? Oh, yeah, and on top of all this, Dick Masterson claims that he was Chase Manhattan Bank dumped him, which I think is a federal crime. But Dick's going to have to go sue them. Good luck suing a bank. Bank can't get rid of you, whether if you're a skinhead. They can't tell you to go pack salt. But you're also going to have to get them in a legal. You have to get a lawyer and prove without a shadow of a doubt they did it for political reasons. So we have all this coming up 11 months out or 12 months out from the election. And I only predict it's going to be worse. I said last year, in 2018, that this would probably be shot from the point's final year. Maybe I was just, 12 months shy.